That's Wave. That's literally Wave. Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina and you're watching an episode of K-pop Investigations, where we take a deep dive into a specific subject and then I share with you my super scientific results at the end. And today we are looking at yet again more accusations of plagiarism in regards to Ateez's works. A-TEEZ must be tired. I wouldn't know. I got my A-TEEZ card taken away long ago. So you might have noticed the hashtag stopcopyingateez trending among other hashtags like jypapologizeto or jypstoleateezstoryline. Storyline. And this is because people noticed music video similarities between Nmixx's debuts and some other Ateez music videos. And it seems people also saw a translation of a description on Nmixx's Melon account that talked of, search of a new world, alluded to piracy, and all that Ateez tinged jazz. So people were definitely upset for a lack of originality, not only in regards to Ateez, but also enhypen stans. Loona stans came forward and were like, something, it's a little fishy. I personally made a video about the music video similarities. I didn't really touch on the storyline and people were a little bit mad about that. But people were also mad because in the video, I was just very doubtful that anything would come out of this. And so far, nothing really has. And we know KQ is pretty quick to release statements when necessary, but you never know, maybe things are going on behind the scenes. But when KQ doesn't release a statement, to me, it's not like, oh, poor KQ, there's such a small company being silenced by these big companies, but rather maybe there's just not a whole lot they can do about it. Like, yes, there are similarities. Storyline, yes. Music video, yes. But just because something is fishy and borders the lines of what is ethical doesn't always mean that there's legally something that you can do about it, which I know definitely sucks. But that was the point of my video. Yes, it can be weird, but sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. And I wasn't born yesterday. I'm not a stranger of big companies taking advantage of their power. I just didn't think anything would come out of it, and it hasn't so far, but you never know. However, JYP really does keep pushing it. Some of the accusations I still maintain were a bit of a stretch. But just this morning, JYP actually released the fandom name for Nmixx, which happens to be Answer without the A. So it's definitely a very clever take on their name, Nmixx, Answer. And I've seen a few people point out that Answer is an Ateez title track. Yes, Answer is a word, but at the same time, the graphics that they release alongside the revelation of their fandom name, it's a little suspicious. The compass aesthetic, yes, Ateez does not own that. Ateez does not own a pirate concept inherently, right? But we could go as far as saying that's what they're known for. Out of all the concepts in the world, it's a little weird to choose that one. And honestly, at first glance, I could have mistaken this as like an Ateez merch release or something related to Ateez. Aesthetics aside, people are also saying that the meaning behind the fandom name is quite similar to Ateez's storyline. So this is allegedly the explanation behind it. You can let me know what you think about that. We of course have Ateez saying, this is going a step too far amongst all the other accusations. But we also have some Nmixx stans who are saying, you can't copyright north, south, east, west, and compasses and whatever. But again, even though it's fishy, do I think KQ have a basis to really say, hey, take this down, you cannot use a compass? No, I don't think that's plausible. And I know people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but just because it's fishy doesn't mean that it's illegal. Unless KQ come forward and say something, we're really all just speculating on whether or not this infringes anyone's copyright. And trending these hashtags, yes, I totally get it, but at the end of the day, KQ do read their emails. They are fully aware of the issues going on. I have no doubt they know about the Nmixx accusations, but whether or not they can do anything about it is a different story. So that's the difference between these Nmixx accusations of plagiarism versus this My Teen Girl plagiarism issue that we're going to talk about. And you have to understand, a lot of people are saying JYP is a big company. KQ is so small, they would never say anything. That is objectively false. KQ is very quick to release statements. When JYP plagiarized an artist in Twice's More and More music video, it seems that it was rectified, You don't need to be any size to call someone out for infringing on your work. Obviously, the music video wasn't taken down, but I'm pretty hopeful that that person got a payout. Just because it falls through the cracks of technical plagiarism doesn't mean that it's ethical. I keep repeating that because I'm just tired of getting gaslit by boy group stans, but I digress. However, this time with the My Teen Girl plagiarism issue, we have more concrete evidence, and that is KQ actually saying, hey, we don't agree with this. This was never discussed with us. And now that both parties have released statements, I thought we could take a look into that. To me, when someone comes forward and says my work has been plagiarized, I think that's very valid. They obviously recognize their own work within something else enough to want to speak out about that. Moving on to Soyeon's plagiarism. Basically, there is an audition program on MBC called My Teen Girl, wherein a girl group will be born out of with the aim to win the hearts of a global audience. In this show, we also have 4 teachers/producers, which includes G-Idol's Soyeon, who they deem a genius idol producer. So for part of the finale of this show, which aired on February 27th, we of course had Soyeon, who actually gifted the contestants a song called Sun. Essentially, she composed it for them so that they could perform it. So a friend of mine actually sent me a snippet on Twitter, and immediately I was like, that's Wave. That's literally Wave. And there's no denying this because KQ even came forward and was like, wait a minute. This isn't right. Before we look at KQ's statement, I wanted to take a look at the song myself, just as an alleged 18E. And as a Wave enthusiast, I just want to see what elements I can really point out, and we can just check out the song together side by side with Wave. For further context, Wave came out in 2019. It was composed and arranged by Eden, Lee's, and Buddy, with Mingi and Hongjun contributing to the lyrics alongside them. And I would definitely say Wave was pretty popular. I didn't really know Ateez at this time, but even I heard Wave and I was streaming it. So let's check out the beginning instrumentals. I would say it's not exactly the same, but it's the same vibe, don't you think? The most obvious part, of course, is the chorus, so let's check that out side by side. Really makes you want to Hakuna Matata. There's no denying it. The ah part is exactly this, like exactly the same. They didn't even. When I do my end of month reviews, I'm always pointing out similarities. This song sounds a little bit like this song, or this part of this song sounds exactly like this part of another song. And for the most part, that's not really plagiarism, right? So if it was just the ah part, I would say, yeah, that's really fishy. But like the whole chorus melody, that I feel changes a lot. And this is probably a stretch, but I noticed that both songs, like structurally, were kind of similar. So right after the chorus, we have a rap part. They're not exactly the same. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but you can let me know what you think about that. Whether or not that part is similar doesn't really matter because the chorus is basically the same. So let's check out KQ's response to all of this. After a group of contestants performed the song Sun in the first round of the finale of MBC's My Teen Girl on February 27th, the agency received multiple reports through official channels and emails that the chorus melody of the song copied the chorus melody of Ateez Wave, which was released in 2019. The agency reviewed the information and found that in the credits of the song Sun, the agency's producing team, I-DLE, was listed there. They firmly state that there was no prior discussion about this with I-DLE or the agency themselves, KQ. With the goal of respecting the inherent work of creators, we ask people to refrain from reckless speculation and stop false reports in their tracks. Thank you. So basically they were technically given credit, but this was not discussed with them. With that, let's check out Cube Entertainment's response. This is our official statement regarding the controversy around the My Teen Girl finale song, Sun, in which G-Idol's Chun Soyeon participated as a composer. They start off by saying that they bowed their heads in apology for causing controversy with the release of Sun. After the finale aired, we monitored the situation and recognized the similarity of the part of the melody to another song. Keeping in mind they did not name which song they plagiarized, which I think is a little weird, don't you think? Cube is being a little vague, shall we say. I'll always say this, but all press is good press. So it's funny to me that Cube plagiarized an Ateez song, but they won't even name that Ateez song. But we all know it's an Ateez song. And in fact, I would have never heard of this My Teen Girl song. I would have never watched the video if it wasn't plagiarized. So there's more views coming to it, but they're not even mentioning the song. I find it a little funny. They go on to say, our artist spoke directly to the producer of that song about the citation and apologized to them. They continue to say that given their acknowledgement of the similarity, that they had to give credit to the original producers, and that Soyeon actually sent a request to the production company of Sun asking them to modify the credits. 1 hour before it was set to be released, the producer's agency told us that they opposed this, but since the request had already been made, the song was released as it was without the agency's opposition being reflected. They end off by apologizing once again about the situation in which the credits were modified without concrete discussion with the producer in question and their agency, saying, "We will do our best so that this issue does not occur again." And then we also have Soyeon herself as well, who apologized for partial melody similarities as well as for confusing artist fans, all that jazz. So with all that said, where do we go from here? Logically, what are the next steps? For one, I don't think JYP is really going to change anything. In fact, maybe it'll get worse. So I sympathize with everyone. I do think it's weird. I'm just not super hopeful. However, for Sun versus Wave, I think the logical thing to do would be to change Sun, to change the melody of the chorus, which is not unheard of. G-Dragon in 2009, I think, was accused of plagiarizing Flo Rida's song, Right Round. So what did G-Dragon do? He changed the flow of his song. And then he collaborated with Flo Rida. Is this... I think it makes sense that KK would deny being part of the credits. If they wanted a Wave 2.0, they could have made it themselves. In fact, I'm waiting. And don't say Eternal Sunshine was Wave 2.0 just because it was fluffy. It wasn't. As an alleged 18-year-old, just shut up right now. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. As for me, I'm gonna get going. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It honestly means the world to me. Thank you so much. Bye.